Hi, welcome back to Lunch Break with ATI. I'm Meg Osborne, Marketing and Development Director for ATI. Normally you see Cindy Collins in this chair, but she is out at rehearsals right now over at Tarkington for Forbidden Broadway. So if you don't have your Forbidden Broadway tickets, I'm doing my advertisement right now. Please get them at 317-843-3800. I can promise you it's a great show. It's a spoof on Broadway shows. And I got a list today from them on which ones they're doing, and it's a fantastic group of Broadway shows. And it's funny, and it's surprising.
Sounds
I
like
mean,
a lot of
there's
fun.
an Ethel Merman one that they're bringing out that is new. I can't remember exactly all of them from memory, but so that's coming up. We're opening April 26th at the Studio Theater, so get your tickets. My second advertisement is our 2024-2025 season has been announced, and ticket season subscriptions, that's a hard word, will go on April 26th at the opening of Forbidden Broadway. Individual tickets will come on sale July 1st. So you can get your season, as you can tell, Ring of Fire, Johnny Cash story, She Loves Me. It's a takeoff of You've Got Mail. So if you loved You've Got Mail, you're going to love She Loves Me. Who Done It? It's like a Clue mystery musical to music. And then 9 to 5. That's the one, Kara, who went, and you're doing 9 to 5. And it's going to be fun and vivacious. And I do not know yet who's going to be Dolly Parton.
I mean, that's the big role.
Yeah,
you want somebody great for Dolly.
And so now I'm going to introduce Kara Seward with Allied Solutions here in Indianapolis. I had the pleasure of getting to know her several years ago. Our paths crossed.
Yes.
I think Missy kind of connected us.
She did connect us.
And we've had a good friendship that has budded from that relationship. And they are a sponsor of ATI, which we greatly appreciate. As you all know, that we love our patrons and sponsors and grants and everybody else that helps support us. So I am going to ask Kara a few questions that I'm very interested in learning about. I told her earlier. And have her just kind of take away today and talk about her journey is essentially what I'm referencing. Tell me exactly what you do at Allied, kind of define your kind of role, and then how you got to that position.
Sure. Well, again, thank you for having me on the show today, Meg. I'm really excited to be here and excited for, this is your 20th season, correct?
Yes, exactly.
It's a big milestone.
It is. It is for Broadway and for a small Broadway organization, and to survive COVID and got through it all through our drive-in theaters that we had during that.
Yes.
So we're really proud of where we are and where we're going. So and we have a new board, a new executive director, because Jim Riley
saw that.
retired, bless his heart. He is actually on the board now. He came back on the board because he
great.
didn't want to give it all up. And so we've got a new board president. Judy Fitzgerald is the artistic director now. And she has the associate director, Darren Morrell. And they're a great team, doing great things, making huge strides, and picked out these shows, got them all for us. So we're really excited. So,
Good. I'm
but
glad
thank
to hear
you to Allied Solutions for believing in us.
Of course. Well, I'll share a little bit about Allied Solutions first. So Allied Solutions is headquartered here in Carmel. We are in Midtown Plaza, so Carmel's backyard, as a lot of people like to say. And we are one of North America's largest providers of insurance, lending, deposit, and data-driven solutions. And we have more than 6,000 partners that we work with across the country and in Canada. And so we have a large footprint, but we are B2B. So a lot of people don't know who we are. And so it's always great to have an opportunity to not only connect with the partners that we support through our philanthropic work, but also being able to share a little bit more about what we do and, you know, in the business sense, not just in the community.
Right,
Yeah.
and you do a lot of community outreach.
We
and
do.
I know from living here for 36 years and actually working for the city for the last almost 20 years. We so appreciate Allied's support and involvement and engagement and all those words.
Right, right. Well, we're happy to be here, and we really want to invest in the community where we're headquartered. But we also invest in areas all over the country, from all of our regional offices, and then we have remote employees where we have opportunities for them to engage as well. But it's really, investing in Carmel and in organizations like yourself help create vibrant communities, particularly here in Carmel, and it helps us attract top talent. So it's a great win-win for everybody. But a little bit more about myself.
Yes.
So
That's what I'm excited to hear.
I've worked with Allied for just over 2 years, and I work in leading their corporate communications and community engagement work. So I have a close hand, and that's how we were connected in some of the community engagement work that we're doing throughout Carmel. But I've had an interesting journey to get here, but I was most attracted to the position and to Allied in the course of searching for new jobs. Was really interested in the opportunity to both leverage my communications expertise, but also have an opportunity to lean into some of my community relations background, as well as being able to give back and have that part of my job feel really a lot of passion behind that in terms of supporting some of these community organizations that we're working with.
I have often wished, either I was a millionaire or my company was that big that we could make that giving back, that hashtag making a positive difference is so part of my soul.
Yes.
And whether it's elbow grease and boots on the ground at an event or whether it would be financial. And I so understand that drive in you, that you just want to be able to be in a position where you can help people.
Exactly.
And that's what you do.
Exactly. Well, and I get to learn about all these different organizations who have amazing missions, like ATI and others that are, either supporting community members or neighbors in need, or giving back to the community in terms of creating cultural opportunities for everyone to engage in. So it's exciting to get to know all of these organizations and all the people that are involved in them.
Yeah, it's a great community, that's for sure. So now tell me, how did you go from, high school to where you are? What was that? What did that look? Because I know I get a lot of people who will call me or say, especially collegiate grads, I want to do what you do. Can you help me?
Right.
What do you recommend? And I think it's important for them to hear about different people and their roles and how they got there.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm a graduate of Hamilton Southeastern High School.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's exciting.
So just next door.
Yeah.
And when it was originally surrounded by cornfields.
Yes.
Before we had
Oleo
two high
Road?
schools. Yeah, on Oleo.
Yes, I was their swim coach.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, I for several years I was their high school swim coach.
Oh, that's
so
great.
we may have passed in the hallway and didn't even know it.
Then I went to Indiana University to study journalism.
Still another good. Wow.
Yes, and right out of college, I actually went to work in Washington D.C. on Capitol Hill for a member of Congress. So I have a background in government, and then transitioned out to Los Angeles and lived in Los Angeles for about six and a half years.
What area of Los Angeles? My daughter lived out there for a while.
Okay. So I was in the Culver City area and then West Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't ever really go into. We went back and forth, but because we went to Culver Military Academy, my husband and I.
Okay.
And so when I saw the Culver City, I would always wonder, I wonder if the Culver family
connected.
is somehow
I know.
connected.
Yeah.
So that was just a thought I always had.
Yeah. So I was out in Los Angeles for a while. Also worked for an elected official out there. And then I came back to Indiana. It's approaching a decade now. And worked for a nonprofit here and then transitioned to the opportunity at Allied.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So you came to the table with a lot of diversity in your background.
Yes, yeah.
Nonprofit, political, governmental.
Exactly. And, there's the thread throughout my career has always been around giving back and connecting with the communities, whether it was through community relations, working for an elected official, or through a mission-driven organization, working at a nonprofit. So it's always been kind of the thread.
Yeah.
And so this really felt, this position at Allied really felt like a great fit.
Oh, that's wonderful. And it brought you home.
It brought me home, yeah.
It brought you home, back home again.
Yes.
So that's fabulous. Well, as you are looking into the future, I know that there's things that Allied is doing. I know there's, stuff going on with the city you do. And what do you see the future, growth, whatever, for where you are?
Yeah. So there's so much happening in Carmel. It's such an exciting community to be in. It's both established, but also feels kind of like a startup in terms of all the organizations that come here to begin. So, for example, another arts organization that we work with is Discovering Broadway.
Yeah.
And they're, incubating those
Right.
musicals.
Exactly.
And they're bringing them to Carmel. I mean, they're, like you, they're bringing Broadway to Carmel.
Right.
So it's, really exciting to see all that energy around arts in the Carmel community. We have a strong symphony. We have the Center for Performing Arts and all of these amazing venues for arts and concerts and plays and musicals. All these things. And so, it's just a thrill to get to know the organizations and also to be able to provide both philanthropic and volunteer hands to
Which
these
are
organizations.
important.
Yeah. So, Allied Solutions, we actually just published our community impact report.
Oh, that's
So really excited about this. This features, our 2023 impact in the community. And it's both the philanthropic donations, but it's also our employees donated more than 3,200 hours of volunteer hours in their communities in 2023. And so it's really fantastic to see that our employees are invested in our communities as well.
And that's important. I was in a board meeting last night for Carmel International Arts Festival, and one of the questions at hand was the volunteer chair. And she's always, we've got the TriCaps, we've got the Boy Scouts, but they're always looking for, and one of the questions that were brought up last night was why don't we go to some of the businesses, the local businesses, and see if they would develop and provide volunteers? And the vice president of the board, Josh Kara, said, well, I know my company will give, I think it's paid time to their volunteers, and they go out and help it. And so he was committing, obviously. So, but that would be a great source if people don't realize it, that they not necessarily. I know everybody wants money. We all want money. I would be a liar to try to say anything, but there's a desperate need for volunteerism.
Definitely.
And so they could come to you and talk to you about volunteerism at their event or their whatever.
Well, and it's really great because our Allied Solutions leadership has been fully invested in our continuing engagement in the community. And one of the aspects that has come out of that is we're now offering, similar to what you mentioned, we're offering 8 hours of paid volunteer time off for an employee to use it at any organization that they're passionate about.
Their passion.
Exactly. And, those 3,000 hours, are also just Allied sponsoring activities. We coordinate and do all the logistics for our employees to just take a few hours off of work to go give back to the community. And
I think that's fabulous.
The leadership at Allied Solutions has been, wholeheartedly behind this, and from an employee engagement perspective, but also from that community engagement.
And that makes a huge difference. I mean, I've been at events where we don't have enough volunteers, and it's really thin, and so having that extra support is huge. Huge. So that's wonderful. I'm glad to know about that.
Yeah.
I'll be calling you.
I'm sure.
I have a few events coming up. I'll be calling you about Carmel International Arts Festival.
Yes,
will be
specifically.
yeah, just FYI. But I really am excited to put that piece together. Because as a development person, I am always after the dollar. I have to be honest. It's just what you do. It's what you're paid to do, and it's what keeps the doors open.
Yeah. But we can give as a corporation. We can give dollars, but it's so valuable to create employee ambassadors who say, I volunteered with X organization, and they're really cool, and I'm energized about that, and I want to give back on my own time.
Right.
And so it's really nice to
be a
see.
board member even eventually, which
Exactly.
so many of the non-for-profits are desperate for board members.
Exactly.
And
with expertise that some of these employees have can be really valuable to nonprofits.
that's a huge offset, you know, that's a tentacle
Right.
off of
Right.
that is getting them familiar, then engaged, and then passionate, and then
Right.
wanting to be on the board. And so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Of course.
I really appreciate it. So with the ATI, what are you looking forward to?
9 to 5.
That's what I thought. I can't wait for that one. I can't wait to see how they do the backdrops. I was telling you about
gonna
the
be
building
fun.
that down at the end of this building is where they build all their backdrops and
Yes.
do all their work. Bernie does he says the vision and sees it and creates it, and that's always so fun to watch that process happen.
It's
and,
amazing. Yeah.
You know, with my son being an artist and him, I don't know if you remember, but he built the car for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang
You said that, yes.
at the Cat, and to watch him take a piece of plywood
And then mold it.
and then have
It's
a
just-
full car that was operational, that had a motor with a toggle. I mean, and you just sit there and I look at that face and I look at Bernie's face and I'm like, how do you see all that
come
in
up
there?
with it?
How-
Right.
what? That's another side of the
Yeah.
artistic of these, whether it's Civic Theater, who has the same warehouse, whether it's Gregory Hancock Dance, and he makes all his costumes
Right.
from scratch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Okay.
Oh, he makes them all. He sews them. He creates all the costumes for that show, which is, to me, I went to
Where
the
does he
last
find
one.
the time?
Yeah, time, but even how do you see it? How do you visualize it?
Right.
I consider myself creative, but
Yeah.
that's, you know,
It's a whole different level.
a whole different level, a
Yeah.
whole different world. Same with, Central Indiana's dance ensembles getting ready to do Snow White. And all the kids, in their costumes, and
Yeah.
it takes an army to put together these
Right.
performances.
Well, and it's great because it brings so many different skill sets into it. It's not just the performers.
Right.
It's the, seamstresses or, the tailors and construction and the trades,
Yes.
bringing it all together.
The
It's amazing.
musicians.
The musicians,
that
yes.
are the music behind it.
Right.
That's a piece of component. So, it's just, I agree with you. It's a blessing to live in Carmel, Indiana.
Yeah.
And all the things that we offer as a community. And, everything even from Feinstein's to Civic Theater with the community theater to the CPA, obviously. I mean, I can go through the list
I
and
know.
check. The
Right.
Songbook Museum that is going to be coming up.
There's so much here.
Yeah, it's really what makes Carmel livable,
Yeah.
exciting. I mean,
Makes it a destination in so
right.
many ways. Yeah.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Meg.
It
I
was
appreciate
great to have
it.
you, and I appreciate your insights and your visit. And I'm also appreciate learning more about Allied
Sure thing.
and what it operates. And somebody asked me the other day, I said, "Well, I think it's kind of like an insurance company."
Yeah.
And that's kind of what. And this person was in insurance, and they were like, "Well, I don't think they sell insurance like we sell." I said,
Right. It's
"Right, I do know that, but it's something about insurance."
Yeah.
So
So
that was
happy to share more with everyone. So
great. Thank you for coming
of
today.
course, thank you.
You all, thank you. Please get your tickets to Forbidden Broadway, 317-843-3800. We open April 26th, and season tickets, oops, I had it backwards, sorry. Season tickets will go on sale for our next season, 24-25, August 26th. So you can get your season subscriptions, and then individual tickets to your favorite shows are July 1st. Thank you again. We'll see you next week on Lunch Break with ATI.